Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Mars Place here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 players I think teams will regret signing by the end of next year, or maybe even midway through this year. For the first, I have the New York Knicks, my favorite team. They signed Taj Gibson to $10 million a year. I think this was not the best deal for the Knicks because the Knicks already signed a bunch of power forwards. Is gonna be our best player next year. Julius Randle, power forward. Bobby Portis, he's probably also a power forward. We just have too many power forwards, and he's also at the tail end of his career. He's 34, and he's not a starting caliber player, which I think that's where they would give that money to players. $10 million is a decent starter money, but Taj is a bench player, a bench power forward, not a starting power forward, a bench power forward. He should probably be making somewhere around $4 million a year, not $10 million a year. Why, Knicks? Why did you do that? You signed Taj Gibson, a 34-year-old power forward who's a bench power forward or a decent starter at the start of his career. But other than that, he's not much than a bench power forward who can give you a solid 8 points and 5 or 6 rebounds a game. Alright, for the next team, we have the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to show up on this list a lot. Alright, so they signed Maxi Kleber to $8.75 million for annual average. Why? It's a terrible deal for him. The Mavericks could have given him a much smaller contract, and if they're really scared about letting him go, come on, they could probably have brought it down to at least $3 million. A much more productive player in Kevon Looney. Yeah, Kevon Looney he got $3 million a year. And he's a better defensive player than him, a better scorer than him. And Maxi averaged 6.8 points last year and 1.1 blocks. No. Why would they give him that big of a contract? Don't get me wrong, he's a solid bench big man. Nothing more than that. $8 million a year. That's too much for him. He's been averaging, I think, like 6 points his whole career. To be fair, he's only played 2 seasons, but I still don't think he's worth $8 million a year. And he's on that contract for, I think, 4 years. 3 or 4 years. It's just a terrible contract. And the next player we got Dwight Powell, who's also on the Mavericks. He's making $11 million a year. What were they thinking? The Mavericks gave out way too much money to their bench big men and Maxi and Dwight. Don't get me wrong. They aren't scrubs. But Powell, in my opinion, is not worth $11 million a year. He's a solid bench big man, but I don't think he should be making $11 million a year. The most he should probably be making is $3 million. Nowhere near $11 million. That's a contract for, again, a solid starter. Like maybe you can get, I don't know, a Patrick Beverly or something like that. You shouldn't be paying that much money to Dwight Powell. He's a decent player, but he's not worth 11 million. They gave out way too much money to them. And next we have Rudy Gay, the San Antonio Spurs, who got 16 million a year. Rudy Gay, he's a good player. He's a good, solid starter, but he's nowhere worth 16 million. Most he should probably be making is 5 to 6 to 7 million for a starter like him. He's a good player, but he's getting older. I know he's only 32 right now, but he's still getting older, and he has taken a noticeable decrease in his point production. Sure, you can say that he's been shooting at a great volume, but I still don't think he's worth 60 million. And also, he has injury concerns. He hasn't played 82 games his whole career. He's just, I don't see why he was given that much money. The most he's played in the past 2 seasons was like 69 games. You shouldn't be paying that him. Don't get me wrong. Like I said before, he's a good player, but he's not a top free agent who should be getting 60 million a year. I think 60 million, you can get above average starter with that money. You could probably be getting someone like Buddy Hield or something like that. Not you shouldn't be aiming for an older guy who can give you he can give you 10 points, but if you're giving someone 60 mil, you should probably be getting around 15, 14, 13 million a year. And I don't think that. I don't agree with the contract at all. And then our last one is Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah, you guys are probably like, oh, he's hating on the Mavericks, Yeah, but the reason why I think that's a bad contract, well, first off, he's making 31 million a year. He got a max contract. But Kristaps has a big injury problem. An ACL injury is no joke. He has it. He may not even return to be getting into an all-star player. Maybe he can come back and be a starter. That's a terrible contract for just a regular starter. And also, he hasn't played basketball he hasn't played professional basketball with other players that are not his teammates, like not scrimmages. We're talking about actual games. He hasn't played games like that for over a year and a half. I feel like it was a really risky signing to sign him for that big of a contract. For all I know, maybe Kristaps will turn into, I don't know. I think he's going to turn into like a starter. I don't think he's going to be returning back to his all-star self. And you guys are probably going to be saying, oh, you're just salty because you're a Knicks fan and they traded him away. Yes, I am salty. I am mad that they traded him away. But I still don't think he deserves that kind of contract. And that's all for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I have another video coming out soon. It's going to be talking about my opinion. I'm 5 of the biggest bust in NBA history. And that's all I got to say for now. Thank you all for watching, and peace.